This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Both of you? Okay. Okay. So yesterday we completed that footer section, right? And
Yeah.
today we have to complete the template. Okay. So the footer container and fluid container, and then 4 columns content. Okay. So as per our template, so this box we can create and overlap on the footer section. Okay. So that we'll finish this template and we'll go to the next task topics. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. First of all, here we need to understand one thing. First, this is like the blue box. Entire blue box is like a fixed container. Okay. And fixed container inside they used one box like in the fixed container 100% like one row or column, you can say. They created a 100% column, like suppose div and some class with the background color and all, and they use some text, and the right side we have the button, the get a code button. Okay. So here mainly, first of all, you need to create this kind of box so that it will place above the footer by default. Okay. Suppose if you want to like overlap like this on the footer. Okay. So here you can use the position values. Okay. In the projects also we used already the position absolute. Okay. And the navigation position relative. Okay. And the top value, the bottom value, left value, right value. Okay. So those positions we need to use here for overlapping on the footer. Not only footer, anywhere, even above the content also we can overlap by applying the values. Okay. Any top of the screen, left side, right side, or complete bottom of your page. Okay. Using these position values, you can place the content anywhere, even overlapping also. Okay. So first of all, we need to create this box, and we can apply the position values, whether it is a negative value or positive. Okay, when you want to overlap, so we need to provide negative value in the position on the bottom. Okay, so first let me create this box above the footer section. Okay, so this is my above footer content, right? So here, let's say here, what is that name? Context for projects or native position quotations. Okay, let me write here quotation box or something. Okay, so let's use here section and class container. Okay, inside container I'm going to use one div. Okay, for the div you can say quotation box or something, or get a quote or something. Quotation box or something. Okay, so inside this I'm going to use this text. Okay, it's like some big text. Okay, so we can use h3 like this. And the second one is button, like hyperlink button, get a quote. Okay, so here you can say input type submit, and then value get a quote like this. Okay, this is our HTML content. Yeah, by default it's showing like this with white background color. and plain text, plain button, rectangle. Okay. So applying CSS, we can give the background color and some padding values. Okay, and the position values. Okay, and then here I'm going to create this class first, quotation box. So here, first of all, suppose if you want to apply the same color, okay, same color, same spacing, okay, and font size, okay, and for font, exact font they want. Suppose want to create the same thing as it is, okay. So how I can know these values, like what is the background color value and what is the font size, what is the font name.
Go to inspect element and check.
Okay, okay, okay. So right click, inspect element.
Then we can check.
I can check the element, like select the element, okay, and here you can see the background color value. So this is the exact color of the background, okay, and this is the padding value 3em and 2em, okay. 3em 2em is 3em top and bottom, and 2em is equal to left and right, okay. So the like box shadow we used to, okay. So this is the box CSS, okay. For example, if you want to check the font, you have to check the H3 content, okay. Here you can see H2, margin bottom 0, and color white, and font size is 1.75 EA, okay. The default font is like some other, like the system default font they applied, they didn't mention here the font, okay. So here as per these values you can create the box, okay, and you can place on or above the footer, okay. Let me give the same color our footer also. Background color, this is our value, background color, and let's say padding. So they said 3em and 2em. So 3em is like in introduction class I teach you, right, from em equal to 16 pixels,
Right.
okay. So that means 3em is 3 into 16, 48 pixels,
40.
48 pixels, and 2em 32 pixels, okay. Let me check. Yeah, it's applied, but it's not taking much. 48 pix, 32 pix, correct. So not bottom. Yeah, now I got that much box, okay. And the text, for the text will apply on the quotation box. What is the tag? H3, and font size. Font size would be like they said like 1.7 per it, so approximately 2. Okay, let's say 32 pixels. H3, and the text color white. Like I created the box and the content, the quotation content. Okay, and coming to the button, get a code button. Let me create one class for this, or you can apply direct input also. Okay, quotation box here I'm going to create like quotation button. I will say quotation button. Okay, and where it is? Yeah, by default there is no any other color, so it's a transparent, okay. On mouse over the white color, the background color, okay. So like this way you can apply. So let's say here background The background color transparent, and we can say border like 2 pixels, solid, and then white color. And they applied a little bit radius also, round color. Radius, let's say 4 pixels. Okay, so this class I'm going to apply in the input section. Okay, so yeah, I created it. Okay, so it's not applied. Class quotation button. Didn't save this. And let me say some space between the heading and header text. Okay, so margin top 10 pixels, and then let me space around the text and button. Okay, so for this you can say the padding, right? So now it's coming padding bottom, padding like 5 pixels, and color also. Color would be okay. Color we can keep this. Yeah, I got the button. Okay, like a same look and feel. Okay, now I'm going to apply the mouse over part. Okay, port button, column H over. Here you can say the background color. Background is white, and text color also white. Black. So what they given here? Yeah, by default the color is black here. Okay, so here the color black on white background color. So, no, here white background color is black. This but here white. Yes. Okay. I got the button. Okay. Heading text. So my heading text and then button inside my this quotation box. Okay. So now it is placed like just like a container and content inside content, right? Okay. So now we have some white space also around this box. Okay. First we need to remove this. Okay, and then we can overlap on the photo. Okay. So here let's say you can use the margin value like margin negative value, okay, and position values also, both for the quotation box. Okay, so let's use here here there's a margin top 10 pixels. Okay, I'm trying to this like applying the margin negative value on the bottom. Okay, margin bottom, let me say the 50 pixels. It's applying or not? No, it's applying. Let me increase the value. No, it's not applying. Option top, option bottom. Okay. Okay. So this is one way to overlap on this. Let me apply the position value. Okay, the complete quotation box. I'm going to apply position absolute.
Mm.
Okay, position absolute, and then uh, bottom, like you can say here, minus 100 pixels. No, it's not okay. Like this box. Mhm. Here on bottom. Set index before use 9, right? So let's say here 10. Where it's gone off bottom. 10, let's say position absolute is correct. Margin top 10. Border, background colors. Okay, so here actually you need to provide this quotation box, not for button here. So this is our quotation box. Here we should apply.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, it's applying from the top. Okay. Okay. So select top. Also, let's say here from the bottom 0. So that means it's on the page bottom. The bottom 0. Somewhere it is overlapping. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Okay. We remove height on the slider section. Go H1 real fix. Main header. Okay. And now okay, forward. Okay, so there is any height, fixed height. Second for okay. Yeah, no, it's applying 150 pixel applying. So then why it's not? Okay, okay. Let me change the position absolute like to relative. Yes, it's applying. Okay, so it should be like a relative and the top instead of top. Let me say at the bottom. Yeah, it's overlapping now. Okay, let me decrease the value. Okay, minus 50 pixels. Yeah, it's overlapping. Okay, so now you can provide some margin space between the footer content and this quotation box. Okay, and for the fixed container for the blue box, we have to create one more like a fixed container only for this requirement. Okay, because in this template, so we have the fixed container. Okay, with background color, and we need to overlap on the footer section. Okay, for this we have to create one new class for the fixed container and with center using the merchant 0 and all. Okay, let's first create that one. The footer container we created already. Okay, so here let's say here footer quotation or something, quotation box or something. Margin 0 and auto. Okay, and width should be 1000 pixels. Okay,
Mm.
and let's say here footer quotation box. Yeah, now it is placed exactly. Okay, and then we can give some margin below of the bottom of the quotation box, so that some space available for the between the quotation box and the footer content. Okay, let's say here margin bottom, let's say 30 pixels. It's like this. Okay, so here like this you can overlap. Okay, and suppose if you put the left side H3 content and the right side quotation box button. Okay, so height will be decreased automatically and it will move down to on the footer like exactly 50% blue color on the footer background.
Okay.
Okay, so let me show you that is suppose there is no submit, automatically the height will be decreased, it will place on this overlap on this. Okay, no, it's not decreased. Okay, let me see. Rotation button is correct. Okay. Height is decreased, but mhm. Let's say 80 pixels. I'm going to increase the position values. Yes, like this you can give the exact value. Let's say 100 pixels. That is enough. Yeah, like this you can do, and you can increase that margin bottom value to visible the content. Like say here 60 pixels. Yes. Now okay. So like this, first of all, you need to create one quotation box, like just like a container for making on the center. Okay, and then create the blue color box, like footer, like a quotation box. Okay, and background color and the text color size. Okay, and alignment, the button. These are all content inside the box. You have to overlap the box on the footer.
Mm.
You got it?
Yeah. So
Okay, so you, yeah, tell me.
if we wanted to put this button, get a code button right side, can we put like float right?
Yeah,
Or
of course, you can put
okay.
that. So same way, like how we done in here. This is the read more button and this user icon and the number of users.
Okay.
The same way we can use here also. That's why I didn't teach you. Okay.
Okay.
This will be like a left side column using the float left, and the button will be right side column using float right.
Okay.
We can make it like this.
Mm.
Okay. So like this, you can overlap on any content. Suppose if you want to fix on the bottom, just you can say here bottom 0, and here you can say position fix. Suppose there is a requirement like this, you can fix on the bottom. Even scrolling your page also, it will fix on the bottom, the extreme bottom, like this. Okay, like this we can place anywhere on the page, on top of any content, top of image. Okay, using these position values like the top, right, bottom, left, like this. Okay, in CSS I will teach you about this position and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ananta is clear. So Apurva is clear. Can I
Yeah.
talk in this?
No.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Fine. Again. Minus 100%. Yeah, it's all like no. Okay. So like this, any template, you have to first you should understand any, like suppose any reference site or example site. Okay. What is the layout? Okay. What is the column requirement and images, content part, color combination. Okay. Font size, font colors. Okay. First you have to study sometime on any design, and then you can start the work. Suppose if you want to create same thing. Okay, and sometimes they will provide only Photoshop file, like design file, like image version. Okay, so from that also you have to create HTML CSS version, like Photoshop to HTML CSS conversion, like creating a template for home page.
Mm.
Okay, so like this, this is just like our just example to create all those things. Okay, like header navigation with the drop downs, 2 columns content, and some projects or portfolio requirement of content. Okay, and the services column section using third-party plugins like the font or something, and customizing those icons. Okay, and the blog and news related, and footer and Google. So there is most of the elements we reach in this website. Okay. Okay, so I will send you this file. Okay.
Okay.
And try to create the same thing how I done. Okay. From top to bottom, like from header to Google Map, everything like overlapping position, footer section, and this blog section and all. Okay. If there is any doubt, I will clear on the next class. Just note down, and I will clear on the next class.
Sure.
Okay. And so there is no any doubts, right, in this template, this creating template, clear everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the coming to the next thing is like HTML5 new tags elements attributes. Till now we use like what the tags we use, section, article, okay, nav, head, figure, caption, no, figure caption we didn't use. Okay, so these tags only use, like these are only structural tags. So but you can call like a page structural tags. Like section means top header section, navigation section, like a slider section, okay, column section. Okay, so you can call like a structural tags. Out of this we have other like image related tags and text related, form related, okay, some API related tags also here in the HTML5. Okay, so first let me close this one. Yeah. So yesterday you asked me that video is not working, right? Autoplay. Okay, so let me open on this page where we use that HTML. Apurva, did you try anything of this? Did you work out on the HTML5 video?
For the video?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I tried the video.
Got it or no?
I got the video, it just doesn't autoplay.
Okay, so that means video is not playing.
It's
By
playing,
applying
it's not autoplaying.
okay, okay. So here, what is the main thing is, so when you place any video with the controls, okay, with the direct access, okay, by clicking the play button, it will play. Okay, that is from the user action. So user action means user clicking on the video button like this. Okay, they can pause, they can play, and then can forward everything, like all features available for the user. Okay, you can control anything. Okay, forward, backward, mute, full screen, and other settings and all. You have all the controls. Okay, so this is like direct access for the user. When using autoplay, suppose for example, you can see any like the recent latest websites. If you see there is any background video, okay, it will play automatically once the application loaded. But you cannot see any other controls like the play, pause, full screen button, and the mute, unmute. You can't see. So just like playing directly without any user interaction. So that means the video is on background, not direct. So when you using the background image, so we need to use the mute also. So here on autoplay means here. So first we should say after controls autoplay. Okay. The before it's working, but recent the browsers is updated. Still it's not playing. So when you apply the autoplay, just remember the video should be muted. Okay, so that means it is like a background video. Now it's playing. See, once the page loaded, it started. The video is playing.
So does that mean there will be no volume?
What?
Will the
So
video
video?
still have volume?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay.
So here we have the controls. Here are the controls, everything. We can mute, unmute, and full screen, everything here. When you apply the controls. Okay. Suppose if you want to play the as a background video. Okay. So we can remove the controls. Okay. So that user cannot see the controls. It's like a plain background. Okay. The video is started playing. So this is like for the background requirement. Instead of putting like a simple static slider or some carousel JavaScript slider, okay, suppose if you want to use like a video background, we can use like this way. Okay, so it's continuously playing because without the loop also. here it is. You can say the loop, so it's continuously play. How much time you open a browser and in application it's continuously playing. Okay, so that means here, suppose if you see the Facebook video section, okay, so the videos is not playing by default, so that means it's not playing autoplay. So when I mouse over, it's playing, and when I unmute it, and sound also is coming. So those are all like some controls. Suppose user want to play the video, he can mouse over. User want to hear the audio, he can on the audio. On the means unmute and increase and decrease the value from the video itself. Okay, so these are all like different requirement. Suppose user don't want to see the autoplay by default. Okay, so they can pause the video. Suppose by default you want to play the video on the page loading, just you can say autoplay muted and the looping continuous play. Okay, so the like when they introduced an HTML5 autoplay, it's working by default. But recently some of the like some requirements, some issues, they added the muted. When muted only, the autoplay will be work. Okay, because of the some users reviews feedbacks. Okay, so they introduce the muted. When you muted only, the autoplay will be work on the video call.
Okay.
Right, now it's working. Right. Okay, so like this you can use video and audio in HTML5. And coming to the form, okay, general the form means here the user role is the main. So like user interaction. So user interaction means, suppose if you see any form, like for example simple login form or registration form, okay, or any other like posting any information. Okay, suppose if you are listing any course online, they will ask more details. Okay, like they will split like 3 to 4 sections, like personal details, contact details, okay, education details, okay, and all this they will split like one by one, and each section they will ask some details using the text boxes, radio buttons, okay, and check boxes, drop downs, and comment boxes like text area. Okay, so these are all like form elements. Okay, suppose I will show you one two examples here. Okay, so here we have simple form like the full name, email, user ID, password, and gender. Okay, this is like all like a interactive form. Here we have the some validations also. Okay, suppose without filling any information, we submit. It's asking the please enter valid data with the details also. Okay, the valid name, okay, valid email ID, valid user ID. Okay, so there is like some interaction, validation interaction with the JavaScript. Okay, let's say here, for example, here I'm going to say some info@gmail.com, and let's say user ID something, like password also, and gender. Okay, so after filling this information, I'm going to submit the form. Okay, it's routing to some other page for displaying some success message. Okay, thanks, we will get back to you soon. Okay, so these are all some kind of interaction between the user and application. Okay, you can select interaction design also, user experience and user interaction design also. Okay, some actions happening between the user and application. Okay, once I submit the form, it's routing to the thanks.html. Okay, and what is our actual page name? The registration.html. Okay, for displaying the thanks message or success message, routing to some other page. Okay. For example, you can display the same thanks message here also. You can create one box on the right side, and here also you can display that success message applying JavaScript, and without reloading, without refreshing, without routing to the finish, we can display the success message here. Okay, so that user will feel good. The like application very smooth loader, fast loader, so everything is good. Okay, so this all because of the forms, like using the some registration data. Okay, and here also some username, password, and confirm password. When you creating new account, like a registration, they will ask 2 times the password. The first password, second password should be the same. So that means the two password should be matched, like same. Suppose ABCXYZ, first password, second password also ABCXYZ. Okay, that is like a validation, JavaScript validation. Okay, that we should patch with the JavaScript. The first password and second password should be equal. Okay, so that is like some password matching validation, and here like form validation here. Okay, the name, yeah, some of the like some text fields mandatory, because when you fill in any information, they will ask some mandatory fields. For example, name, mobile number, email. Okay, these are all some basic requirements for communication. Okay, they will communicate later. Somehow, like suppose so many, if you subscribe the first time, okay, they will store the information of the database, and they will communicate for the promos purpose, like maybe some offers. Okay, and they will send regularly emails. Okay, so for the contacting purpose, they will ask some email ID and phone. Okay, so that means some fields are mandatory in any form. So mandatory means the user should be enter any value. Suppose it is a phone number should be entered. If it is an email, email should be entered. Otherwise, the form will not submit. Okay, see here, if you didn't apply, if you didn't write any content in the name and password section, I'm going to register the form. It's asking name cannot be blank. So that means the name is mandatory. So let's say here email like Kumar. I'm going to register again. So here it's asking, please include an @ in the email. Okay. Why? Because it's actually the data type is not text. Data type is email. So it's asking the email data type. Okay. @ some XYZ. So now this is email data type. Now let me register this. See, the password must be at least 6 characters. Okay, so the password also they asking minimum 6 characters, not like a 2 or 3. Okay, so let's say here I have more than 6 characters. Now the form will be submitted. The form was submitted. Okay, suppose here also we can see the password by check the checkbox. Okay, this is like a JavaScript condition. I will teach you the JavaScript. Okay, so here mainly we're going to learn about the forms. Okay, so these are all related to like validations. Okay, and form interaction part. Here it's like one big form. Okay, here we have the most of the elements here, like first name, last name, email address, current website URL, and language dropdown. And here one more option like, okay, the devices, and some big text box. Okay, so like this, you can type number of lines here. Okay, and mobile number, phone number. Okay, here they said what say fill at least one. So that means either mobile number or phone number is mandatory. Okay, otherwise it will display some error. Okay, so here also they ask like 2 password match, like 2 password equal. Okay, like this here so many elements is covered in this form. Okay, without filling any information, let me validate form here. See, the form is not submitted. Everything is changed to red color. Okay, so here enter the name. Okay, let me apply some name here. See, when I'm typing, immediately it's changing to the green color. So that means user entered some value, so the condition become true, so that the success class should be applied. So these are all about from the CSS and JavaScript. The color combination is from the CSS, the condition is from the JavaScript. Okay, so once you remove the text, see, immediately I didn't come out from the text box. So it's applying directly the red color text and red color border and red color icon. Okay, so that is like JavaScript evaluation, and these are all look and feel, layout, structure, everything is CSS. This entire form can see. Okay, here the like total HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Let's complete some form examples. Okay, with CSS and with JavaScript. Okay, so here some of the validations we can do with the HTML5 also without using any JavaScript. For the basic validations, we can use HTML5 validations like required attribute. Let's say here for this kind of validation we need JavaScript, like some custom validations. Okay, for example, it is like mandatory text box. Without filling value, if you submit, it won't accept. So in HTML5, you can say just required attribute. So once you say required attribute on the text box, the text field is mandatory. Okay, but color combination, okay, and like a warning color and a success color and displaying text. Okay, so it will not come from the HTML5 required. Just say it's a mandatory field, so you should enter something. Okay, so that is HTML5 required validation. Suppose if you want this kind of validations, we need to use JavaScript and CSS for applying the colors. Okay, so first I will teach you on the HTML5 form. What are the data types? Okay, what are the elements, attributes? Okay, what is they introduced in HTML5? Okay, let me create one page for this. I will create one page for this new page. So here template. I'm going to create one file here. HTML5 form.html. Okay, so this is just basic HTML page. So inside this, first you can say form tag. Okay, so in the form tag, we need to apply some attributes. In the HTML basic I teach you already. Some of the attributes we need to add in the form itself, form tag itself. Okay, so here, so first we should provide some name, just like say my form. Okay, and method, post, and third one is let's say that is what the method for action. Let's say register.php something, PHP or Java or ASP or JSP, whatever, the server side programming. Okay, so these three is mandatory attributes in the form. Okay, the first one is the name my form. To access your form, so when user submit the form, okay, so as per our DOM, Okay, that should be find your form by accessing the name. Okay, so the form name is my form, so it will find and search my form, and the method is post. Okay, submitting means so all the information you are going to post on your server, on sending the data to your database, and it will store permanently. Okay, so that is like a method post, nothing but method sending the information. And this action reset.php is the server side process. Okay, so these two is for the front end. Okay, name and form, and method post and action reset is a server side process. So from the front end, collecting all values like first name, last name, mobile number, email, gender, location, everything, the all information will collect, and it will go to the register.php. Okay, and from there it's going to the database. So that is the PHP page will be to the process to send the database, or to send the server, or to send the other people. Okay, so these job will do the reset.php. Okay, so that means every form, these three is important: the name attribute, method attribute, action attribute. Okay, so without these three attributes, the form will not work. I mean, form will not submit. Okay, but here the name you can give anything. That is user defined. You can give any ABC, right? But method post is just like you can say HTTP services. HTTP means like hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, so here four methods we have: method post, get, put, update. Okay, so when you're creating like any CAD applications, okay, we are going to use four methods: post, get, update, delete. Okay, so here the action is like here you can say any name. That is also user defined name. Like if somebody will say reach.php, okay, or somebody will say just reg.php, okay, or we can say login or submit form. You can say anything. Okay, so the form, these three attributes are mandatory. Okay, let me write some other elements of the form section. Okay, so here the first one is, I think a couple of times asked me, I think you confused also because of this label. Right, Ananta, right? You asked me the label. Did you ask me any difference about the label, Apurva or Ananta?
No, I didn't.
Like previous class. So here the label, nothing but just like text. Okay. So here, for example, if you have to display, for example, first name. Let's say yes. Okay, so here first name is our text. Okay, so suppose if you want to display any data like this label data in the form. Okay, so you can use the label text, label tag here. So instead of label, you can use the paragraph also. Even paragraph also, the same kind of you can fill. No difference here. Okay, so, but here the paragraph shouldn't use. You should use the labels only for any label text.
Mhm.
Okay, and then here I need to take input type text. So user going to enter some value, the name value. Let's say so the first the label name and then text box to enter the first name value on the text box. So there is like some basic form structure. The label, the text box, the label for the first name and for label for the last name and the full name, email ID, okay, phone number, okay, and gender. Okay, gender again, gender will come on the radio or date type will be changed. Okay, so this basically any form, these two combination, label and text box, label and text box.
Mhm.
And based on any some custom requirement, we are going to write some other tags elements like the data types and okay. So here, let me apply one field set and legend. I didn't teach you this before the basic also. Let me teach you. Wait, wait, 1 second, I will find. Yeah. Oh, okay, so here, so like the first name, the text box, and I'm going to apply one field set, like just like a container for
Mhm.
the form. Let's say here field set, and inside the field set, again I'm going to use legend. Okay, here in the legend section, I'm going to use some, let's say, registration form. Okay, after registration form, I'm using other labels and text boxes. Yes. Okay, so here once use like field set and lesson. Okay, so we have some like a container like with border, vehicle border, and some spacing and the legend. Okay, the legend registration form here it is placed on the left side. This is some like kind of basic style for the field set and legend.
Mhm.
So before there is no any border, nothing. It's just like a plain sorry, the plain text box and label. But now the total look and feel was changed. Okay, it's just like a one specific section like registration form, or you can suppose if you are using like a 3-4 sections, the first thing you can say the personal details. Okay, and you can take one more section, you can say like contact details. Okay, and third section like payment details or any other like education details. Like you can split more than one like 2, 3, 4 sections. So for each and every section you will say this kind of legend, and you can use other labels and text boxes, so that the form will be very clear, so that user also will get understand and they can enter the correct data on each and every section. Okay, so for this you can customize this position also. By default it will be placed on the left side. Suppose if you want to make center and right also, we can without CSS. So in the field set itself, here you can say right. And, the lesson part. Lesson or let me say the line like HTML attribute. Align right. Smart work because it's red color, so that means the align is smart work, but it's placed right side. But okay. Yeah, so like this, only the legend like registration form heading you can place on the right side. If you say the center, it will center. Okay, suppose if you don't want to make center or right, just remove this. It will place on the left side by default.
Okay.
The legend part by default on the left side. Okay, and with the CSS you can customize the total field set and legend. You can feel like a border color, background color, the font size, font name, and you can apply more space. Okay, that is the CSS part. Okay, this is completely HTML basic styling, like border and placing the font, text, and everything. Okay, so here I'm going to use this one by one. Okay, so this is like our first name. Let's say here type is equal text and name is equal, like you can say first name. Okay, and then placeholder. Placeholder, what is a placeholder? Enter first name. Like this. Okay, so from the text box you can see the placeholder enter first name. So this is like this attribute introduced in the HTML5. Okay, the name and data type text also HTML4. The placeholder is introduced in the HTML5. Okay, for the user better understanding purpose. So if you see any like big forms, user sometimes will be confused to understand what value should enter. Okay, if suppose there is no label, for example, the developer didn't mention the first name label. So here the user will get confused what data, what type of data we should enter. Okay, so in that case, in the text box itself, we can show the placeholder. Okay, so even there is no label, user can enter first name like this. Okay, so that is like a placeholder. So before, if you want to use like this kind of placeholder, before HTML5, you need to use the JavaScript for displaying this kind of placeholder. After clicking the text box, it will remove automatically. Okay, so that means that is just like a hint for the user, the placeholder, and enter some value, first name, last name, mobile number, email ID, whatever. So that is for the better understanding for the user, the placeholder. Okay, so like this, many around 20-25 attributes, like a placeholder Okay, min value, max value. Okay, and some show you some example about the calendar also. Okay, that is like the data types. Okay, and for the validation purpose. Okay, so we can apply around the 20-25 different data types attribution in the form. Okay, so without going JavaScript, we can use some validations and different data types and APIs, calendar APIs also, without using any property plugins or JavaScript or jQuery. Okay, the simple functionality. In HTML5, you can make simple functionality. Out of that, if you want any some like custom rich user experience, okay, rich validations, like custom validations, then we need to use the JavaScript and jQuery and Bootstrap framework also. Okay, for making any simple functionality, we can use plain HTML5 new data types, attributes, these are all. Okay, so we'll continue this tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
So is it clear about this?
No.
The form was created like this. Just start by yourself also. The first we need to start the form tag and give the name, method post, actions and name, and field set, less than, and then one by one. The label text box.
Okay.
So it's clear, Ananta and Apurva?
Yeah.
And I will send this video. And yesterday's you got right, that video.
Yes.
We got it.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, fine. Bye.
Sure.
Ananta and Apurva.
Thank you.